And here we have it, guys. We are back after the short break here with the DreamHack Grand Finals. We have a world of action going down today. 100 of your best players. We're breezing through. A bit of a catch-up here, Fallout, for some of the best moments. I mean, we saw Hardfine jump into a box, take out Let Whip. We saw Nikov find the other Gambit member, Milwaukee here, alongside a bunch of other great eliminations. And it's just been nothing but intensity happening and unfolding. And that's shaping out to switch things up on the leaderboard as well.
Yeah, that's very true. We did see that also come through with the replays. I think the replays caught so many of the great moments right there, but goes to show a lot of different points throughout the game. Typically, we're used to end game fights are insane. They're lit. We get it. It's crazy. But last game, game one, we saw some good early game action. We saw some good mid-game fights and a lot more diversity. I'm not sure if we just have a nasty observing team or, the EU players are definitely showing up to play here, as we saw a great display of skill in our first game.
Yeah, it definitely was an action-packed first game. Like you said, normally come, game one jitters, we're going to see Storm Surge happen with 70 plus players. That wasn't the case this time around. Storm Surge did kick in around the 50-point or 50-player threshold mark in the half in, half out. But prior to that, there was actual action, a lot of fights happening. We talked about Reason taking his early fight in Holly Hedges, coming out successful. We saw the replay for him following up into Wailing Woods. He also came out successful as well. I know I'm saying Wailing, it's currently half drowned out, so bear with me, boys. But yeah, and another thing that unfolded was the fact that Castry stole all of the authority loot, the grappler, the Volt key card, and then just boogied on out of there. And we saw him in the end game, where on the other hand, Mongrel, who was there as well, was taken out.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So two players I want to keep an eye out for, Mongrel, Benji Fishy. I know those are names we talk about often, and guess what? We're going to start off with Benji Fishy, but we didn't see Benji make it to late game, so we're not really exactly sure what happened to Benji early on. Mongrel did make it to later game, but got taken out early. Unfortunately had to fight a few 1v1s that caused him to use up some of his heals, some of his resources. It looks like Benji will be dropping Lazy Lake, as our intel told, so we'll keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, Kiko of Portugal with a nasty hunting rifle shot to kick things off.
Oh my God.
My goodness, you have to be kidding me. Kiko with the back-to-back, and we caught it on stream. 2 hunting rifle shots in a row, 1 elimination for Kiko to start things off.
Hey, listen, there's a reason the man qualified. I think it was first place for his heat here. He's showing you guys why. No reason to count this man out. And take a look. Yes, give us the instant replay. We want to see it again. The hunting rifle shot to kick it off. Another player we saw landing down there, it's Waze. So Waze is giving Caddy's Corner a run for its money, which means Wolfies has some competition down there. And you can see there are 3 players playing for Caddy's Corner. Something different this time around, though, is the fact that the weather station is completely uncontested. Whereas in the previous game, we saw a little bit of a skirmish. We talk about players having to manipulate their games and, not throw any away. So we're already seeing differences happen here. If someone loses their drop spot, they're not afraid to switch things up and mix it up. But Kiko is the man of the hour right now with the beautiful snipe shots to kick it off.
Indeed he is. He's feeling himself. He's going for one more on Tom Z Cross map right there. Not going to connect for that one. So finally he's cooling down, maybe just a tiny bit. But I like the plays coming through from Kiko. I'm interested to see if he decides to third party over at Caddy's Corner and go for some of the Kit's mythic items. So we'll keep an eye on that. We'll of course go back to that Caddy Corner fight as the game progresses. We want to check out the rest of the map and see how things are breaking down. Currently in Retail Row, the tried and true, we got Rex of Wave. And by the way, I think Wave of any org has the most representation in these EU finals. So big shout out to Wave Esports.
That's right. You have multiple players. Scrib, we've seen Janice in here. Godsend, another crew that we know is always coming up on top, man. See Wakey here, who's vibing out right now, playing this little river bend. Nice little area to kind of claim for yourself. It's hefty for the loot as far as the resources go, but he is playing off the land here, looking to hopefully find some more goodies to continue to carry this into late game. I wonder what his rotate's going to be from here, whether he's going to swing through the Frenzy or fight Haijo here on the bridge. Little does Haijo know, though, he's got some competition. Yes, he is going to see it. First shot's going to land onto Wakey. It's going to be an initial headshot to kick things off. And Wakey forced to heal up now.
That is a brilliant, exactly what Haijo would have wanted. Brilliant first shot accuracy coming through. Hits the headshot with that first shot accuracy, and now I'm interested to see how Haijo plays this. They're actually back to even in heals, but I'm not sure if Haijo knows that. So Haijo might play with a little bit of false aggression here, or misinformed aggression, if you will, thinking that he has Wakey potentially hurt, but you got to assume at some point that their minis are in his pocket, so he's going to back out, reset, recognizes, hey, I don't want to take this fight early. I don't want to risk a potential 50-50 type of fight getting eliminated, and instead he's going to wisely back out and reset and play for Mats.
I love how Wakey played that as well, boxing up here and playing defense, but instead of just focusing on the enemy that might have been a threat, he looked backwards towards the mountain here to make sure that no one was swinging into third party him. He's going to let his guard down here, though. Hydro's not going to forget. A little bit of a retaliation shot here, as both of which have tagged each other back and forth. Remember, Storm Surge is a thing, so you do have to take these tags where you can get them. And now Wakey's in a world of trouble as he's getting shot from the opposite side. But Hydro, a little bit of a savior there. Had he not just put some defensive shots down, he would have gotten the knock here onto Wakey. So Wakey's in a serious situation right now, and it's a little bit of a back and forth ping between them playing on the mountain and a battle for who's going to take out Wakey first.
Yeah, it's like trying to make a decision of who you want to shoot, and each time the wrong decision has been made right there, as the player on the mountain could have taken out Wakey, as Wakey was rotating basically for free. Meanwhile, Hydro took the shot on the wrong individual as well. Of course, easier said than done, and easier for us to see that and to know that. But now, Hydro with a great opportunity. Wakey so incredibly damaged, doesn't even have a chance to heal up with the bandages that he has. The only heals in his inventory are bandages, and Hydro is putting on the pressure.
That's right, and Hydro's really looking to take this one right here. He does get the cone, and yes, he follows up with the petard shot as well. Just connecting in full there. Wakey had to go for the full-on 50-50. It was really his only last and desperate play here, and things just work out in his favor.
There were minis right. I'm not sure if it would have made a huge difference, but there were minis right to his right. Meanwhile, look at the top left of your screen. You see Marin and Trulix picking up some limbs. And we're on board with Chapix right now. I believe Chapix drops over towards Craggy Cliffs, typically. What is, like you said, Wailing Woods are no longer, or Weeping Woods are no longer, whatever I'm thinking of. The Craggy Cliffs is another one of those POIs that was a POI, is no longer named.
Yeah, and one thing I did want to talk about really quickly there is you saw Chapix had 10 points. That's because he managed to find those 2 elims, like I mentioned before, but he went down so early in the game. No placement points being divvied out. You see, it's the difference maker for kind of throwing you into the running here. Players like Reason are going to be looking to pick up those placement points so that they can continue to propel themselves in the competition. We know Reason's got, what, you said 14th place or so he's doing pretty good so far after game 1. Now leading into game 2, ladies and gents, every interaction matters here to continue to kind of pace yourself for first right now.
Yep, that is right. As Hydro's taking advantage of those early interactions with the elim on Wakey. And now Hydro's sitting in a pretty good spot in points. I think I saw 38 points for Hydro. So he's in a decent position. And if he can have a solid game 2 here, he can definitely crack the top 5, top 10 category. Meanwhile, Grizzy, another org with quite a few players in this one. It's going to be CRR, however, taking damage to the hands of Grizzy's very own. CRR with some minis in his name. He's going to do what he can to try and heal up if he can. But the pressure is being maintained. This should be all she wrote for CRR in a rough spot. And the fall damage almost took him out, but he's going to survive for now. No way! Ooh. CRR is going to actually reverse the story and get the elim. Huge plays from CRR on Lazy.
I was just going to say, that was the battle of the controllers right there. CRR, the veteran in the space, lies in the one who moved over from the console track into the PC track as of late, and CRR has got to be happy about that. Want to continue to hold the throne. But remember, CRR is only just now finally making himself some points here, so he's got a little bit of catch-up to do here in the start of the competition. And that was a clutch, man. Lysen does miss choke the shots there. You see in the replay mode, had he just connected one time is all he would have needed here. Here's Tayson, who, like we said before, is playing at Steamy Stacks area, so he's rotated out. He's playing for the bridge right now where Andretta is walking across, and Tayson's looking to set up a little cheeky shot here out in the open. And yes, he is going to connect. Andretta misses the build in the first direction that time around, so I think Tayson's feeling pretty confident about this one.
Yeah, I think so indeed. Tayson knows he has the advantage as it currently stands.
Oh my God.
Playing so aggressive all day, but he's going to miss the shots when it matters.
Oh no.
Andretta again, the second time in a row here where the script is flipped. And just like that, Tayson eliminated from this one.
I mean, Andretta looked like he wasn't playing with his headphones on, facing properly for a second there. And the bad aim from Tayson is going to be the demise of him. But we have more battles going on here. Rax versus Scramguard right now. I'm still trying to understand how you missed all those shots there, but it is what it is. That's that finals day jitters happening. Rax, though, has the lead in this battle health-wise. Scram looking to connect with anything possible here. The huge charge shot does give him a little bit of an advantage here, but the whites from Rax here, this is the indicator. It's time to wrap this fight up. Wouldn't be surprised if he throws the ramp in the face here. But no, the counter cone's going to come out. Yeah, he doesn't like the way that looks or feels, so we'll go ahead and reset. Once again, take two, and the charge shotgun's gonna hit him here. Fallout. Oh my.
Oh.
Rax wins.
I thought we were gonna see that for a third time. The player with on their back foot comes out on top this time. Rax says, all right, enough of that madness. He needed that win. He needed the builds. He only had 5 or 6 builds total to his name. And now Rax with quite a few more. And he might hit a crash pad here. Nope, looks like he's just gonna hit a nice simple rotation. Gonna be running on the edge with the storm here alongside some peers over past retail row. So Rax has to be a little bit careful, but should be pretty safe. Actually, as I say that, one's right to his left.
Oh, little sniper
Nice
shot to kick it off. Body shot from the hunting rifle is going to open it up for 86, giving him a little bit of a benefit in the fight right now. Great ramp being thrown down there. Good piece control. Grabs the roof before the enemy can react, and the floorboard. The quick edit catches him before he can even react, but the action doesn't stop here as we're jumping over with Flick, who's in another battle right now. And yes, this player is going to slip right through the builds. The wall is his, though, as he makes the edit. Does choke it, though. And all of a sudden, Flick has to find the shot here. This is going to be the end of his run right now. This player is still in full HP. No more material left in the build section here. And yes, even though he connects with 76, it's not going to be enough. Just going down here. We're hopping back and forth. All this action, all this early game fighting that's happening here. I think Raija, is that bad sniper he took out there?
I don't know. I think it was a no name on screen, but if it was, that's a big Ela. I'm not sure. We'll get that info for you. As yeah, Vyasser with a nice pickup. And now he's going to get some AI loot as well, which you saw what that did for Benji Fishy yesterday in the game we were watching. He was able to get Stinks and a few others. As Vyasser's looking to pick up some free loot as well. I see a few players nearby, so I have to be a little bit careful here. While he's getting that loop, doesn't have a harpoon gun to reel it all in.
Yeah, that's right. He just wants to take out this pack of Marauders so they're not an issue for him. Remember, the Marauders will drop ample amounts of heals and whatnot. So here it is. He's able to reap the benefits as someone is rotating just by. Great body shot, but little does he know there's someone even closer than that. It's not going to mean anything for this situation here. Raija again.
Oh my God.
Another body shot follow-up in this fight. This player is close enough, though, for him to take it. Unfortunately for him, he's building out of wood, so it is going to mean that he's weak, but it's okay. Too many players in the area. Raja's going to play smart. He's going to back up here and not look to get taken out early like he did last time.
Yeah, I like how he's just a machine right now, hitting hunting rifle shot after hunting rifle shot. That's enough damage to his right and left, to his north and south, to force those players to not push, to buy him some time to rotate. So well played. Meanwhile, on board with Castry now. Castry, a player we've talked a lot about. High expectations from us. We want to see what he can do here on Sunday. And he's going to be just doing some crash pad plays to come through with the aggression early on. It's going to do well for him. As now, Castry has the upper hand in this fight and needs to try and finish quick, as third parties are certainly going to come through.
Yeah, there is someone looking into it, and Breeze is going to find this moment to heal up, and lucky for him, might be his saving grace here, as Castry is now forced to defend up and back up. And remember, Castry's burned so much material already into this battle. He's kind of got to commit at this point, because you don't want to go into zone 3 and approach mid-game without any resources, and that's kind of looking like the situation here. It's a 4-way fight. Scratch that. Arso FN is the one who's going to step up and jump into this as well. Arso also in shambles loot-wise, so all of these players need this impact elimination right now.
Yeah, and you wonder, in this fight, is anyone win? You know, because you're using so much loot. Yes, you get one elim, you might get some mats, but maybe the one victor will win. But it looks like the fourth member is going to back out, making it a 3-way fight. Bryzer backed out as well, actually. Castry wisely backs out. So all members decide to back out, but what do they sacrifice? You know, so many materials, unfortunately, wasted there. You have to do it, though, to defend against yourself. So you can't blame them one bit, but it's just an unfortunate situation. Castry's looking to take advantage and make up for it.
One thing I want to note is that Castry does not have the mythic loadout this time around, so that means it's going to be in the hands of Hardfine or Mongrel. We'll find out as the competition continues, but remember that fourth situation, that fourth party is here. It's Arso who wants a piece of the action, and someone else is going to jump into the box, and this is where Castry ends up getting taken out on the storm line. Mr. No Name here is going to find himself 3 eliminations, 4 eliminations, so they're all falling to him, and he started off with no points this competition. Now 4 elims up is going to give him the big 20, propelling him into the competition, basically nullifying his bad first game. We're going to have to find out who this player is, because that was absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, insane. Huge plays. Well, we said it too. Typically, one player may come out of this fight with success. And there you have it. It is going to be the no-name player on screen right now that gets the spoils of war, if you will, in that four-way fight. And now 20 points to his name. Going to jump on board as Scrib, player we watched a good amount yesterday, performed very, very well also on this Scrib. Swimming his way over to Crash Pad here for a rotation. Just going to follow this through. Nice dolphin dives all the way through on these Crash Pads, as that's going to get him in circle here momentarily.
That's one of the more fun bugs in Fortnite, right? Little thing that, you know, kind of fun interaction that you see happen between the Crash Pad and the swimming animation. You got to love it right there. All right, Scrib in the competition right now. No points scored this game so far, but you can see the big 41, meaning that he had a phenomenal start to the run here. You have to wonder how much does that point mean right now in the current game? Where does it stand? Hopefully soon we'll get that leaderboard update for you guys. But take a look. Steelix in this game right now. Steelix finishing top 10 yesterday as well, as far as his opening performance goes.
Top 5. And we also saw Lenouf, a player we didn't watch a whole lot of yesterday, but he qualified through top 30 for Lenouf. He got first place in his heat, so that's something we got to certainly look out for. I saw him on the top left of my screen. Meanwhile, Benji Fishy of NRG, the sole member of NRG Europe for Fortnite, alive in this one, but third-party central. He's going to get a shot fired from behind him. Needs to be careful here as Benji's hunting, which should be okay.
Benji with the 50-point game start.
Look at his
looking
math.
very, very good right now. Yes, like I was gonna say.
Solid.
Resource-wise, yeah, he is in shambles. He needs to gather up. He really needs to bounce back here. If he can find himself capping off on some hard mats with this brick and stuff that's nearby, it's gonna be a nice pocket worth of material that he probably should focus on. Yes, he is. Without it, I mean, he's gonna be forced into a mid-game box fight, and we all know how that can go. Let's talk about the loadout, though. If there's anyone that can do it, it's Benji with a charged shotgun and the RPG, granting him any access to a box and, of course, the stinker to close things out. So it's looking very, very favorable for him, at least right now, if he wants to take a fight. But it's not guaranteed, not by any means. Remember, grand finals, best 100.
Yep. As I learned growing up, nothing in life is guaranteed, especially a fight in Fortnite. As Benji, like you said, has some favorable weaponry to take a fight. I think it'd be wise for him to take a fight. You know, wouldn't hurt, given his mat situation. It would help him set up for late game. So if you can find one, a good one for him, I don't think he has to force it by any means, but if you can find a fight, I think that'd be great. Meanwhile, hard find to pick up an elim as well on Snappy. Quick fun fact for Benji, 28th place in semifinals with 25 elims. So pretty strong showing on Saturday, much better than his Friday showing. But of course, Saturday, Sunday is when it matters the most.
That's right, and this is that mid-game fight we talked about, and Benzi's gonna lose it to Baffo right there, even with the RPG in his favor. Baffo had one as well. He's gonna follow up the RPG shot. Just like that, he gets taken out.
Unfortunate for Benji. And if what we said was a potentially favorable game for him is now eliminated out of this one. We saw Tomsy on screen. I think we saw Vitality Nikov on screen as well. CRR, a controller player I mentioned earlier, and then, of course, Trulex, who got 4th place in his semifinal. Nice showing yesterday as well. Trulex is really, of Enterprise, has really been on the rise the last couple of months. It's been fun to watch his trajectory in FNCS.
That is true, and like we said, CRR really shouldn't even be in this game right now because Lizen had him dead to rights. So CRR granted a little second opportunity here to stay in the game. And as I say that, maybe he's just a cat with 9 lives. Because he gets tagged with a big sniper shot right there. Forced to burn all of the heals that he had here. No, just a few of them. He does have some minis still in the inventory. He does have a med kit as well. Continue to stay in the game, but zone's on his back here.
Yeah, you're right. He has escaped death quite a few times, this CRR, but you got to wonder, is this final destination coming? As you can only escape it so many times. Is going to find a 1 box, and actually brilliant, patient play coming through. And now CRR again in a rough spot. Let's see if he can continue to make chicken soup out of nothing. But no, this time he's going to get taken out. Unfortunate as Erkin is going to be the one who eliminates CRR.
You know, I was going to start up the chant, spam the car to save CRR, but it doesn't look like it's not going to matter. CRR's out the game. Luck is not on his side this time around as Erkin's been on fire. And I mean, take a look. After a good qualifying lead up, he's having a great start to the grand finals day here. Remember, 8-game competition. We're tuning in, guys. A little late. It's DreamHack Opens featuring Fortnite. It's game 2 right now. Monster Deface and Fallout here on the mic, bringing and delivering all of the action. Airkin's looking super, super pretty right now. He's got his favorable kind of loadouts and is going for him. But here's Hardfind, who's just going to have to rotate all the way across. He does have a launch pad, though.
Yeah, Airkin's the one with not a massive resume. He's been getting better and better in each week, especially, I think, Chapter 2. Hardfind on screen right now. Got Janus above him. That's a scary enemy, scary foe. But he's been playing with such aggression, I don't think he really cares. Let's see if he can take this push on Hard and Janus. Yeah, Janus doesn't have a wall behind him, so that could be a push coming through for Hardfind if he wants it, I believe. Oh my goodness. Hardfind having to show all the restraint in the world right now to take this fight.
I want to talk about the significance of this. Janus did get taken out in the previous mid-game in a similar circumstance, just letting his guard down. He's kind of doing it right now. I think he's got the idea. Yeah, possibly there's an enemy inside that box, and it is Hardfind. He's going to have to make a move here. Hardfind's going to burn his own launch pad, followed by the edits out of the cone. So it is going to be a low pad. Beautifully done, too. He's going to execute that and get right to the safety here, granting everyone else a nice cut across the field. Notable names that I'm seeing in the game right now: Moraine, Lanoof, Trulex, and a few others. Here's Moraine as he cuts right by Hardfind. Hardfind's going to find an Elim in the distance there. Now it's all worth it. His third Elim. Something else to note here: Hardfind does not have the authority loot. So is Mongrel still live in the game? That is the question right now. As we're looking at our FNCS Invitational winner, Janus here. Like I said, it's the best performance of recent times in solo competition. The only major comp that we've seen. So Janus he's got to bounce back. He had a rough game 1.
Yeah, he's been impressive as of late and impressive all weekend. I think we'll have a strong bounce back here, game 2 through 8. Meanwhile, we do have an update. Devour Waze currently has the caddy loot as we last understood, but we haven't seen him on screen just yet. So we'll keep an eye out on him. Hardfind, of course, one of our players who drops authority, but did not get the Jules loot from authority. So we're still looking for that drum gun and that glider gun from authority. Oh my goodness, Hardfind has been so patient, it's insane. Multiple fights he could have taken, but instead he's just playing for late games, playing with patience. He has a player in Kami next to him that I'm not sure he wants to mess with.
I was just going to bring up Kami because Kami had 2 really great performances, finishing top 20 for 2 days in a row of competition. So he's very much in this to win this. And for him to nearly get into a weird situation here, coming into the first full moving, that's a bit of a scary one. But Indretta is one that is alive, wall and strong right now, who's racking up points here. 2 Elims for Indretta. He had a questionable knock in the previous run with all the whiffing that he did for game 1, but he's very much in the game right now. On Peppers, leading the rotate here. Hardfind's going to find himself a few crash pads, get a free rotate cut across as well. And it's looking pretty good for him.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And Jedi with a brilliant rotation there, recognizing he's so good in the mats category that he's able to take a far rotation into the storm and lead the way. Now, he has to be careful on his back because everyone's behind him. If he can pick up an limb here on those rotating in, it's going to be Scrib. Oh, he edits the wrong way. 50-50 chance and misses the stare at it. Unfortunate, as Scrib's now going to back out and reset. Andretta could have had a pick there. Still has 1 pepper to his name. He's going to pop it. That should last him for quite some time here. Andretta with the movement boost.
Absolutely. And Scrib's pretty insane, by the way. I think 2 rolled up behind him. He turned and burned him just like that. And take a look at the speed at which you can rotate with the peppers. This is why they're so clutch and crucial in this end game. I see Rax down below, though. A few others are still in the game here. Moraine's still making his way through the end game. I see Janus still in the running as well. Lanouf still here as well. This is such a stacked conclusion we're looking at right now. I see 2 still in this. So many big names here. Rax is going to get completely sideswiped here by Andretta before he busts through the wall with the tactical shot. And now Andretta has the big come up. 500 materials for him. And what looks like a fairy tale comeback for him because Andretta's been on the back footing for so long. Competition after competition, he hasn't quite been there. And now he's looking very good in solo form here today.
That's exactly right. Andretta finally gets in the limb on the rotation. Scrib has picked up quite a few, so keep an eye out on him. I think he might be still up. Janus alive. Andretta, Trulex, as you mentioned. Kami is my bet to make it late here. We'll see if he can. But another 2 kill limbs going to be picked up for Andretta. Big plays coming through as Teak still alive on screen as well. We got the picture-in-picture. But I want to keep watching that bottom right. Andretta's looking great.
That's right, Andretta's still in it. I see Janice still in it right underneath Teak. Janice is going to hit that crash pad here, though, and that's going to allow him to stay in the game right now. Great tactical shot for the player up above from Teak here, and Teak looks like he's already made 2 end games so far. If he can continue to just frag out just a little bit here, that's going to be huge. Moraine is going to find Andretta in the feed, and that's going to be the end of the run for him as Teak finally finds an impact that he much needed right now. It's going to be Karma who falls, and a couple more material falling into the loot pool for him. Now take a look here. Janice all the way on the low ground. Teak come in the mid. I think Janice still has that harpoon. You can see him readying it up for a second there. He's looking to build his way in. This is a 5-way battle right now. We don't know who has the high ground, but we do know Teak is in a strong position right now to at least jump down onto Janice and play spoiler here. Janice, though, with 2 Elans, is bounced back. This is where he shines the most, securing endgame placements as he knows how to do best. Here's Teak. Beautiful rotates all the way to low ground now. Fallout. It's a 1v1 though in the Stormy. He's gonna find another one. That's a huge Elan for the placement, for the points, and another one onto Janice. And Janice with a missed timing here. Teak is tearing it up here. 3 Elans. It's a 1v1 because Moraine falls.
And it's gonna all come down to this last 1v1. Slowly play this out, start to understand when and how they want to strike exactly. This is an interesting one and an interesting finish here as it looks like our high ground player is starting to hunt in on his prey, trying to close this out.
And that's right. If you just look at the map there, you can see it's going right through all those enemy builds. So much metal, so much brick to work through. And this is why the player on high ground is working his way down into Teak. And he's going to find the AR shots he needs. The edits with only 1 tick on the zone left. And he hits it. Remember, the siphon means that he had 7 HP.
Could confirmation come through? This is Anas with a massive victory royale. Huge plays come through from Anas in game number 2. We're going to jump to a quick break. When we come back, we'll be breaking down the action right after this.
The night, gonna shine the light. We're gonna be so bright. Gonna feel it tonight. Leave all your worries and your troubles and your tears behind. Oh, take all that negativity, erase it from your mind. Oh, don't need approval, you're the master of your life. Oh, baby, you don't gotta run, baby, you don't gotta hide. Oh, you got a whole lot of love to give. You got a whole lot of love to give. You got a whole lot of love to give. You got a whole lot of love to give. You got a whole lot of love to give. You got a whole lot of love to give. You got a whole lot of love to give. You got a whole lot of love to give. Baby, gonna light the night. Gonna shine the light. We're gonna be so bright. Gonna be so bright. Everybody wanna go to heaven, but ain't nobody ready to go just yet. Everybody wanna go to heaven, but ain't nobody ready to go just yet. You got a whole lot of love to give. You got a whole lot of love to give. You got a whole lot of love to give. You got a whole lot of love to give. You got a whole lot of love to give. You got a whole lot of love to give. You got a whole lot of love to give. You got a whole lot of love to give. Baby, gonna light the night. Gonna shine the light. We're gonna be so bright. Gonna feel it tonight. Leave all your worries and your troubles and your tears behind. Oh, take all that negativity, erase it from your mind. Oh, you got a whole lot of love to give. You got a whole lot of love to give. You got a whole lot of love to give. got a whole lot of love to give. You got a whole lot of love to give. You got a whole lot of love to give. You got a whole lot of love to give. You got a whole lot of love to give. You got a whole lot of love to give. You got a whole lot of love to give. You got
Welcome back, everyone, to the DreamHack Open featuring Fortnite. 2 games are done, 6 to go to find out who is going to take first place in the grand finals here. My name is Kelly, and joining me, we have back Monster D, Face, and Fallout. In the last few, actually, not even the last few minutes of that game, the entire game was so action-packed. Right from the start, we had that amazing hunting rifle shot. I mean, Monster D, Face, take it away right now with your first thoughts of that game.
Yeah, the game was actually insane. I mean, we saw a lot of key clashes happening throughout the course of the game. And I mean, just to kick things off, we're going to just revert to the highlight package to get you guys all caught up in case you did miss some of that early game action. Here it is. Beautiful shots. The Kiko shot that Kelly was talking about right there, Fallout. It was probably the best one we've seen.
Unbelievable. Mid-air shot, 2 in a row to connect for the early elim. We saw so much early game action. This is the CRR fight where he had no business winning and still was able to come out on top with some great shotgun plays. And of course, Flick did not have the same fortune as he got taken out early. Just a lot of early game fights again. 2 times in a row, we've been kind of blessed with some really, really good 1v1s early to start things out. Some box fights have been fun to watch.
Not only that, you're talking like big names getting dropped right there, right? Flick, someone who's a fan favorite, and then the others just finding success, like Hardfind, who was finding success once again without the Authority grappler. And this is a player that we didn't get to secure the name of, picking up a 4-piece special, propelling him into the competition here. And you talk about nullifying your bad placements. Janice, someone that we know can make end games, pulls that off again. Somehow, some way, he always makes it happen. It doesn't matter about the mythic loadouts before a Nos actually concluding the win right there. And we got to give some serious props to Nos, ladies and gents, because Nos has been tearing it up coming in through the qualifiers and whatnot. Honestly, even throughout the FNCS solo invitational, he was fragging, making a name for himself with great end games, and now pulling up a multitude of victories over the weekend. He's really, really crushing it right now.
100% agree. I believe he actually was in 21st place coming out of the semifinals now, but now he is sitting at number 1. Let's actually take a quick look at the top 24 or leaderboard right now. Sitting at number 1 with 127 points is a Nos. Of course, Sebi, who won our first game, is holding pretty nice at 2nd place. And then a fan favorite, Mr. Savage, sitting at 3rd there. But I do want to call attention back to a Nos right now, because not only did he get 1st place in that 2nd game, he got 4th place in the 1st one. So it definitely seems like a Nos is the player to beat right now.
Yeah, and this is kind of crazy. I'm just looking at the point difference maker right there. His points are coming in through placement, so showing that consistency for him to make end game, that's going to be someone that you're going to want to keep an eye out on if you're interested in trying to make it through to end game. Like, what are his rotates like? What's his drop spot? He's playing really well right now.
Yeah, another theme I'm looking at is actually a theme across a variety of our top 5, top 7 players. Mr. Savage as well, most of his points through placement coming through. And we saw a difference between 1st and 20th place of about 55 points. That's quite significant here early on. So you're starting to see the gap widen. And a lot of times in these 8-game finals, we've been doing them for so long, they're tried and true all the way back to PAX West and a lot of these early on events of Fortnite with open competitions. The gap gets so big early on. We'll see if that stays true. If Janice continues playing with consistency, he can hold on that top 3 finish and really raise the gap.
Yeah, definitely. And Monster, something that you mentioned just a second ago, that you're wondering if we're going to see the drop spots changing at all or the rotations. And let's actually pull up the drawing board right now so you guys can take a deeper look into that.
Yeah, let me go ahead and hit the floor here, because I saw some pretty crucial elims happen in that game, especially in game 2. I'm going to bring your focus down to the southern area of Frenzy Farm, which means that Castery rotates out of Authority, heading straight eastern before coming across 4 players. It was Castery versus Breeze in a shambles mid-game fight. This is something that we see time and time again for players that come out of Authority. We saw it with Mongra in the previous game. We saw it with Hardfind coming into mid-game. It's the lack of resources, the lack of loot. And if you get caught in these mid-game fights, you're going to get dropped by multiple of players. Arso FN was one of the players that came in through the congested zone 2, moving south there. Now, something else to note is that come around that zone 4, because the zone was eastern, this is where we saw Benji Fishy get into an engagement before getting just absolutely dropped in the mid game by Baffo, who also had an RPG shotgun. Now, this is the southeastern side of Loot Lake, so we know this is Benji's home here. Why is it that Benji's leaving his home turf with no resources in the mid game? I'm not sure, but it looks like Benji's not having too much success, or didn't have too much success that game around, especially considering, hey, he caught zone. And this brings us to the focus here. I see Fallout circling up here. This is where Mr. Savage is landing. There's someone who is on the far portions of the map to come all the way down and still be in the top 5, or actually top 3 right now. He's playing against all odds against the zone and still coming out successful.
Yeah, that was the exact point I was going to make. Is he's constantly chasing the zone consistently, and it's working from a placement perspective. So there's always been that kind of tried and true, age-old argument of, do you want to play center circle or do you want to play on the edge of the zone? Mr. Savage showing that edge of the zone can work for placement for consistency. He, of course, has to be careful. When he makes rotations, he's typically going to check Craggy, which Flick and a few others drop, Chapix, a few others drop in Craggy over here. He also has to potentially go through Pleasant Park with a few players. Maybe can clean up some loot there on the rotations out. So I'd love to see if Mr. Savage is dropping in boat. Still, that's what kind of we were thinking going into it, but I know it was kind of heavily contested early on. So those are the few things I'm looking out for.
Yeah, it definitely seems like these players are starting to adjust towards the top 100, seeing how everyone's rotating in drop spots. But everyone, it's game number 3. I know you guys are excited to get into the action, but we're going to have to wait just a moment because we do have a break right now.